NathanIvy.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. As far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised arms, close fists, yeah, too strong. Team AI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlative, keep it locked like the Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AO? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Drippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati Reds at. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 5-1-3, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Sorry, fam. I know we're getting started a little bit later this morning. And thank you for being here. I will say that. Good morning to you. Creeping up on 8:16 a.m. in the Queen City. Call me back. I'm getting started. What a beautiful Friday. Now, if you don't know already, it is a little bit colder. Just a little bit. I'm being sarcastic than it was. It felt like it was the entire week. But I'm sure you're ready for it. A beautiful morning, greater Cincinnati area. And as always, it's my pleasure to be with you. I'll give you a heads up. We're planning to do a Facebook Live with the Donnie B Show later on today. It's Facebook Live. As many of you already know, I'm in between studios. Let me see here. So that'll be about 12:30 p.m. approximately this afternoon. Look for the Facebook Live if you'd like to interact and check out what Donnie B has to say. Is It Just Me podcast, Facebook Live edition. Now, in my opinion, there are many things to discuss, including 3 ways to show black love on Valentine's Day. That's what I got for you this morning. Interspersed in between that are, witticisms and criticisms on everything going on. We got a lot to discuss. But again, I'll say 3 ways to show black love on Valentine's Day. How many people don't give a damn about Valentine's Day? Fellas, Valentine's Day, and I'm sure you already know this, but if you're non-married, if you're still young in the game, Valentine's Day is an important tool in assessing as to whether she is worthy. May get into that. I know it's not for everybody. Many of you already know it. Shout out to my patron. Hey, shout out to you, Mike D. I appreciate you and the support. Patreon.com/The Nathan Ivy Show. For as little as $2 per month, you can help me build new black media in the greater Cincinnati area and beyond. And my number is pretty simple, 513-873-7134. That is my number if you like to share your thoughts. It's quite interesting. I saw that Eric Kearney, who is the head of the African American Chamber, he let his voice be known, or shall I say, he let his opinion be known over some of the decisions that the port has made. He called them out essentially. And it seemed as if he was very, very, very passionate in his frustrations. Very passionate in his frustrations. Oh, I love this. What is that? Oh, that's great. That's great. And I'm wondering, did anybody get a chance to see that? Like, if you're like a Cincinnati sort of person, a person who lives in Cincinnati area and you follow politics, then perhaps you might have seen it. And Eric Kearney is in the Cincinnati Business Journal. It's inside the Friends page and in other spots as well. I saw some of the choppers that just posted on their personal pages. Eric Kearney, Port's award of Millennium contract unjust and unfair. Unjust and unfair. Senator Eric Kearney, he's the CEO of the Greater Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky African American Chamber of Commerce. Unjust and unfair. And, you know, as I said, former state lawmaker. Quote, input from the African American Chamber and other economic development organizations should have been solicited by the CEO of the port. Damn it. They left that part out. God damn it. They left that part out. Because, you know, he just, well, if you know Eric, does Eric Kearney, I'm sure everyone curses. All adults curse. I don't trust an adult who tells me they don't curse. I don't trust you. You're lying to me. But he is a man of dignity and knows how to conduct himself in media opportunities. This is unjust and unfair. Input from the African American Chamber and other economic development organizations should have been solicited by the CEO of the port. Yeah. Says he's going to discuss it with, is it Laura Brunner? Her name? Or Brunner? I know it's her last name. I think it's her last name. First name is Laura. And he says he's going to discuss his plans with her. Quote, I just want the process and the procedure to be fair for the members of the African American community, as well as others, to get a shot at the contract. The process isn't open. It wasn't transparent. Who knows what would have happened if they had opened it up? What do you think? 513-873-7134. Yes. And of course, it got a response from the CEO of the port. Quote, as always, our approach will be inclusive. And as always, we will continue to work with the African American Chamber of Commerce to ensure pathways are open to participating. The port's commitment to this standard of practice has been part of our long-standing relationship with the African American Chamber of Commerce, and we look forward to continue those conversations and our work together. Man, what is that all about? What's that all about? What do you think about that response? Now, David Spalding, he's the vice president of Turner Construction that got the big contract. And he said that the company is committed to an open process and will bring on a minority-owned partner. This is a 21st century working shit out. That's what that is. 21st century fighting for inclusion. A lot of money in Cincinnati. Once again, I say, are black folks getting their fair share? So what do you think about Eric Kearney and him calling out the port? I mean, one would argue that that's what he's supposed to do. If you see something that don't look a little fishy, that's what he's supposed to do. Interesting. Yes, it is Laura Brunner. Port Board had okayed CEO Laura Brunner's plan to negotiate a contract with Turner Construction. And this is to demolish and then to replace the Millennium Hotel. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people to get a lot of money out of that. It's going to be big time. Interesting. I wonder how much in total do you think, with all the things that go into a demolition and then rebuilding, and people that do everything from like the actual brick and mortar to the electricity to the ventilation to all the things you can't even think of. In 2019, Turner awarded $55 million in contracts to minority-owned businesses and was recognized by the Human Rights Campaign, receiving 100% of its corporate equality index. The only U.S. construction manager with that designation. So, I mean, does that sound like the Turner Construction are good to black folks? They're good to minorities? Human Rights Campaign. Who are they? Let's look these folks up. Thank you, Google. Look these folks up. Human Rights Campaign. Okay. I understand, I think. See. On Friday, the Courier reported that construction estimates on the project have varied. Construction giant Kanska was part of the team Vanderkar Holdings had put together to build the project and came up with a concept that was $45 million cheaper than what Turner had proposed. For those who want to see this and you haven't already, I'll post this inside the Chop Shop. You can check it out for yourself. Which leads me to this, 513-873-7134. If you would like to share your thoughts, good morning to you. We all made it to the end of the week. We made it. You made it. Yes, you did. We made it here together. Man, it's interesting. You see this article? Very, very interesting. What is going to happen? What is going to happen? 513-873-7134. I see Bakewan, the chef, writes up middle first. Bakewan. Okay. I think I understand. Brenda writes, happy Friday. Miss Tiffany writes, good morning. And good to see everybody. Good to see you. Boy, I see every time I see Alicia Reese is running pretty hard in the black community. I mean, I think it's safe to say that she's got a lot of support in the African-American community here in Cincinnati. But if you're just looking at like stuff that you see on social media, she's got a lot of support and endorsements. It's going to be quite interesting. Quite interesting. You know, she's running for Hamilton County Commissioner. You do realize that. Of course you do. Of course you do. See, Karamia writes, good morning, good people. Good to see you. Cassandra writes, hey, choppers. That's great. That's great. Tracy writes, hey, good to see you, Tracy. And, just wonder how this race is going to play all the way out. Makes you wonder. See, Sharp writes, happy Valentine's Day to the Lady Choppers. Good morning. And it's a frigid TGIF. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. One way you can show black love on Valentine's Day, and I'm speaking to the brothers because I am a brother, and that is to marry yourself a black woman. All right? That's what you should do. That's my recommendation. And couple your black intelligence, your wealth together and raise a strong black family. You know what I'm saying? That's what you should do. In my humble opinion. It's just my opinion. You take it any way you want to. All right? I'm just saying. I mean, all that intelligence, all that wealth, everything you have to offer, you should keep it in the family and intensify the wealth. In my humble opinion. That's one way you can show black love on Valentine's Day. Now, these are just my thoughts. You may have some thoughts, and I invite you to share. 513-873-7134. This has been just looking back over the topics that we've discussed over this week, man. We started off on Monday. That was my first show back. This is my first week back after being off for a week. And it was quite incredible. That whole spectacle of the Snoop thing. Snoop put that video up and, people just started reacting. We had a very impassioned conversation on Monday. You know what I'm saying? That was like the biggest story of the week in terms of what I saw being discussed. Oh, okay. That's beautiful. Oh, okay. I like that. It's beautiful. Huh? I don't understand that. I don't get that. I'm looking at something on Facebook here. Camille writes, so I feel love in the air. Happy Valentine's Day, lovers. Yeah. Yes, I've said before, the wifey and I don't support Valentine's Day. I got lucky, fellas. I mean, she's just not in. She don't care about it. She got other things. Things that are important. Valentine's Day is whatever you want it to be. It's a way to make money. If you're a business person, you can sell something and have a Valentine's Day special. CJ writes, good morning, all. John #Glorious writes, glorious Friday. Dee writes, finally, I get to check out a show from the beginning. Good morning. Is that right, Dee? Mike Davis writes, rise and shine, young stars. Hey, Mike, again, thank you for your support. Appreciate it. Ray writes, grand risings, all. Ashley writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Happy Friday. Kermie writes, I can take it or leave it, but it's nice to feel loved every day. I know that's right. Well, you are loved here. I am exuding love to all the Choppers. Now, whether it's reciprocated, I don't know. Tanika writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good to see you. Mike Jones writes, good morning. Good to see you all. Thanks for being here. Now, if you're wondering where the hell is he reading these names from? Is he on Facebook? I am not on Facebook. I am on Spreaker, Spreaker. It is a free app. You can download it. And that's like the primary sort of the nerve center of where the Nathan Ivey Show is online. All right. Each and every show, there is a chat room attached to that show, and I am reading from that. And you can go to nathanivey.com, make it real simple. Just click on the title of today's podcast, and boom, there you are. Cyber Wakanda, a.k.a. the Chop Shop. We chop it up. Did you see, or have you read, should I say? And I say see because there was a news segment about it. But of course, this week we talked about the Cincinnati police captain that was pulled over in Loveland. That was early in the week. And she was pulled over by a Loveland police officer. And she was driving, and her husband, who's a lieutenant, Patrick Caton, who was involved in a situation in which a black man who was a veteran put his life on the line for this country and was choked out, asphyxiated, died in custody. And this officer was involved. But anyway, remember that story? Have you read and or heard the defense from her lawyer? This is what you pay for. This is some big time lawyering. So they get pulled over. These two officers get pulled over in Loveland by the Loveland police officer. And then his body cam gets released and you can hear the audio. And he says that you can clearly, they smell like alcohol. So, if a police officer says that, especially when you just pulled over two other officers because they let them know quickly, then, I'm inclined to believe it. Well, the defense, her lawyer, the lawyer for the captain, he says that the charges should be dropped because this Loveland police officer was basically just trying to have a moment. And his client did nothing wrong. And the officer said that her speech was slurred. You remember this? Well, her lawyer is saying, he just doesn't understand that she's British. She got an English accent. And sometimes people with an English accent, it sounds like their words are slurred. I'm not making it up. That's exactly what he said. Does anybody know anyone with an English accent? Is there a difference between an English accent and British accent? Are those two words basically synonymous? I don't know these things, but I want to be spot on. I want to be spot on. Now, the Loveland officer who arrested her took her back to the police department where she refused a breathalyzer test and was charged with an OVI refusal and center line violation. What's the law on that? Like, if you refuse a breathalyzer, what happens? what happens? Isn't there something that's supposed to happen, trigger automatically? When the officers encountered Patrick, the report said he approached the officers in an aggressive manner, to which I had to put my hand up in front of us. Huh? Listen, listen, this is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. So that's what he said. He said the defense attorney was like, look, you know, she got a different accent and he just doesn't understand it. He's a commoner. He don't understand those kind of things. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan.
Hey, good morning.
Mark, can you hear me well?
I can't hear you well. At least I can.
Fantastic. Is Kevin on the
Yeah, I got you, Kev.
So, I'm from England. That's where I was born. And every once in a while, I like to kick in with the accent a little bit. So, you know, yeah, it could sound a little funny.
Hey, Kev, I can barely make you. Hey, Kev, hold on for a second, man. Are you on speaker? Because it sounds like you are, and it sounds terrible. It sounds just bouncing all over the place.
Is that better?
Let's see. Let's try it.
So yeah, I'm actually from England. That's where I was born, and yeah, that actually makes sense. That's a great. That's like a super great defense. Just
You think so?
thinking outside the box, but yeah, British accent, English accent. That's the thing.
That's the same. Okay, good.
So down here pulling the John on you, I wanted to make sure I throw that out. I'm down here in Orlando. My kids down here going to be performing at Disney. And I said, well...
You said performing at Disney?
Good morning, glorious people.
You said they're going to be performing at Disney?
Yeah, exactly.
Tell us more about that, man. What do you mean? What did that? So, tell us what your kids are doing.
Man, actually, I'm getting feedback bad, too. I can barely hear what you're saying. Feedback?
Well, what I said is that tell us what your kids are doing. You said they're performing?
I heard nothing.
Okay. I'm not sure.
I don't know what's going on, but that's okay. Yeah, she's going down to Disney. She's going to be singing with her choir, and so I flew down so I can watch her, and now I'm on a trek to go visit my family that's down here while I'm down here because life is short. So for Valentine's Day, just show love to everybody you love. You know what I mean? That's how you got to do. The best thing you could do is just say to somebody that you love, hey, I love you and I'm thinking about you. That's about it.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
All right, bro. Be blessed.
You too, man. Not sure what's going on with that, although I heard him and others. Yeah. You know, another way to show black love on Valentine's Day is to take care of your heart. I'm a living testament. I've got a testimony now, y'all. I got a testimony. I've heard people say I got a testimony. I have a testimony now, and I can share that with you. That ish they be talking about heart blockages is real. It is real. It is so real. I'm telling you, you don't want to feel that pain. I'm telling you. Take it from me. You don't want to deal with that. You're sitting up in the hospital for days and days afterward. It's a pain, and then you know what? And I got lucky. You know, it's dawning on me more and more as people are telling me, like, bruh, you listen, now that was a serious thing there. So taking care of yourself, your beautiful black self, is in and of itself black love. Now, I know I'm speaking to the choir, but just let me say it anyway. Damn. I know you don't need me to tell you that because you working out already and you vegan. You know what I'm saying? You taking your Lipitor every day. You working out every day. Okay, let me say it. I've said it. Good morning. 513-873-7134. If you'd like to share your thoughts this morning, I would love to hear them. More news that concerns Cincinnatians and Ohioans. Governor Mike DeWine announced just yesterday that the new state Senate legislation aimed at deterring Ohio drivers from using handheld devices while driving is coming soon. And he wants to put more teeth in it. You know, he says smartphones are an amazing thing. They've revolutionized the way we communicate. But, you know, it's dangerous if you're trying to do this while you're on your phone. Now, many of you listen to this show while you're traveling. You listen to it while you're traveling. But I know you are smart enough to have some of those, you know, non-handheld devices. You put your phone on. People use their speaker options, which are very good these days. Or you got a smartphone and a smart car, so you can just pump the show straight through the car stereo. I know. But you and I both know, because we traverse these streets, and there's a lot of folks, man, that do a lot of dangerous stuff. And then when you take a look at them, they got a cell phone in their hand. Like, can't wait to get on the phone. It's like, you know, we're just so accessible these days, it seems like. And then our phones are much more interesting. Let's be honest. I mean, the phones they had 20, 30 years ago were not as interesting as the phones they have now. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. Yeah, they want to put more teeth into this because Mike DeWine, who is a white male Republican, he believes that this is a serious safety issue. Serious safety issue. Speaking of Mike DeWine, how's he been doing so far, in your opinion? Under current Ohio law, using a cell phone while driving is a secondary offense. Did you know that? And police have to see you commit a primary offense like speeding or weaving in and out of the lanes, which I just saw yesterday. And then they can cite you for using a cell phone. DeWine wants to change that. He wants it to make it, let me see. He wants to make it a primary offense so that police officers can stop you because they see you on your cell phone. Now let's think about this for a second. Is this the kind of police power that we want to give to the Cincinnati Police Department and or Ohio-based law enforcement? Like, do we want to give them the ability to stop you because you have a cell phone? I don't know. I mean, on one hand, I think that it's a safety risk. On the other hand, I mean, this could be used as a rationale to harass people very easily. Damn, what do you do? I know what Mike Bloomberg would do. I know what he would do. But what would you do? 513-873-7134. Mike Jones writes, good morning, Choppers. Good to see you, Mike. Derek writes, top of the morning to the Choppers. Good to see you, Derek. Ray writes, if the port is committed, why we keep having the same conversations? What an excellent question, Ray. Exactly. Exactly. That's a really good point. Exactly. And she's going back to a story titled Kearney, Port's Award of Millennium Contract, Unjust and Unfair. The port awarded it to Turner Construction. And Turner Construction got a big time award for human rights something. Doing good work. Human rights, doing good work and diversified business by the Human Rights Campaign. He was the only U.S. construction manager of that designation throughout the entire country. And from the quote here from Turner Construction, they pledged that they're gonna work with minority-owned businesses. Now, of course, we all know that minority-owned businesses does not just mean black businesses. I think we know that. Interesting. Turner, how about this? So add this if you don't have time to get to it in the article. I've jumped ahead. So add this to your computations as you consider this. Turner is managing the construction of the new FC Cincinnati Stadium. That's over in the West End. And there was just an article in the news this week that said that there's a lot of black-owned and minority-owned businesses that are enjoying contracts with FC Cincinnati, but they've got some numbers right here, and I want to throw them out here and just to put them on the table. So on that project, again referring to the FC Cincinnati Stadium, under construction currently here in the city of Cincinnati in what we call the West End, minority business enterprises have 27% of the work, and women-owned businesses have 15.6%. Okay. Now, nothing here that says in particular about African Americans or black-owned businesses. Now, on Wednesday, Laura Brunner, who is the leader of the port, acknowledged that the port was departing from its procurement process to give Turner the contract because of its experience building convention center hotels and other projects downtown. So, I mean, for anybody who would say that Eric Kearney was in any way wrong, I mean, Laura Brunner right there is pretty much acknowledging that they doing something different on this one. And I think that's where the problem is. I mean, what's the use of coming up with policies and procedures if you're just going to cherry pick, you know, who's going to lead on projects that happen in the future based upon what you think they may have as experience? I mean, they should have to get in line and compete like everybody else, in my opinion. But what about you? I mean, there it is right there. Boom. There it is right there. I mean, what else needs to be said? That's it. Don't depart from the procurement process that everybody agreed on. Boom, everybody's happy. Some of this, why do we make shit so damn difficult? Just like these folks over CPS. I was on Facebook and I seen some people who had posted that story about how, you know, this week there was a big conversation about first responder drills, which I think they should keep. I guess I didn't know this, but there's a controversy about this. Apparently there's like some big debate about whether you should do first responder, emergent, not even first responder, but active shooter drills. You know what an active shooter is? That's when one of these kids has been neglected by his mama and his daddy and his grandparents, and the school's been jerking them around because they won't deal with the bullying issue. And so they just snap and go to school and kill a lot of people. So yeah, everybody knows that this is a national epidemic. It's been going on for years and years. All over the country, you name it. You name it. So to me, and I have a child, soon to be 2 children in CPS. He goes to school. Think about that. Junior goes to kindergarten later this year. That's my boy. That's my boy. So for me as a parent, I want them to do active shooter drills so that they're not caught off guard and kids and staff don't get killed in the chaos because of no information. The staff should be doing active shooter drills. They should be doing all of that. But apparently, and again, why do we make things so difficult? Things are so easy. They really are. Things are very simple. But apparently when they did it, they scared the you know what out of a lot of people because people didn't know it was an active shooter drill. And like, I guess some people were like terrified. And I think that underscores the reason as to why we should not do away with it. Because people have a conscious like awareness that those school buildings could be killing grounds today in an instant at any school. At any school. It's the truth. And so obviously they should continue doing the drills, but all you have to do is just announce them. Hey, today we're going to do an active shooter drill. It's going to be after lunch. Okay. It's going to be after 7th bell. So now you know it's going to be between 7, I'm assuming there's 9 bells, 7 and 9 bells. Or the kids get out of school at 3:30. We're going to do it between 1 and 3:30. Boom, there it is. So everyone knows what it is when you get the chance to get your routine down. They make it some big deal about it. They got to have a commission. They're flying in Neil deGrasse Tyson. You know, Cornel West is going to come in, drop a few bars. It's the world we live in. It's the world we live in. So did I hear him correctly? Did he say, now my mind is going back to the phone call. Did I hear Kevin Lassell correctly? He said he was from England, which was interesting. Did not know that. And he says that he can understand that. So the defense of this police captain, as I jump back, hopefully you can follow me this morning. You had 2 Cincinnati police officers that were pulled over in Loveland. One is a captain. The captain received an OVI because she refused to take a breathalyzer. The officer that pulled her over said he could smell alcohol and that she had slurred speech. Now the defense attorney says, wait a minute, the charges should be because she's from England and she has an accent, and then some people think that when you have an English accent, they say you're slurring your words or you sound like you're drunk. Is that a thing? I didn't know that. And it's just so interesting how this member of law enforcement is willing to now criticize law enforcement in the same way that people from our community does. But now when they do it, it's supposed to be valid. Quote, Mr. Caton walked up with clenched fists saying, you drove all the way up here to start-ish in my front driveway. That's what they told the Loveland police officer. Oh, man. As we were leaving and Mr. Caton was walking toward his house, he stopped, turned around, and took a few steps back towards me. He then said, be sure to tell your moms that you met real cops tonight. You can't make this stuff up, man. And apparently she was swaying. I mean, it seems very clear. Because number one, why would this white male police officer pull over these two white folks? They identify themselves as police officers. Why would he go through all of that if, in fact, they were intoxicated? When's the last time you seen that happen? I read stories of where police officers find that somebody's intoxicated. They don't even process them. They do them a solid and drive them home. I'm not making it up. It's true. It's very, very true. Brian writes, good morning. Hey, good to see you, B. Mason Marley writes, morning, Nate and the Choppers. Naker, please. Hashtag free Left Parnas. Hashtag free Jussie Smollett. Happy Valentine's Day to the Lady Choppers. Cam writes, stepping into the AM with Nathan and the Chop Shop. Hey, good to see you, Cam. Good to see you, brother. Mason Marley writes, just playing Baquan. B, don't kill my vibe. And you mean B as in Baquan. That's what you mean, right? Sharp writes, I'm tired of the port antics tore down the Cincinnati Gardens. Well, I mean, I'm with Eric Kearney. I mean, from what I understand his position to be, if you got a system, go through the system. I mean, you know that people are going to have a problem with it. I mean, I guess they expected for Eric Kearney to say nothing. For people to just say nothing and just be business as usual. And to me, so what if Turner Construction is doing, so what? So what if they won some big human rights campaign award? So what? That the process is put in place to be competitive. Who knows who's out there? You know, it could be a black-owned firm. It could be a minority-owned firm. You never know. Their new business is rising and falling always in America. But the port just assumed that because they won some award, that meant it's like a get out of the agreement award. Like, oh, okay, we don't have to follow the process award. No one gives a damn about that. I mean, it's great, whatever that means. I haven't done enough research on the award to really rubber stamp it or to diss it either way, but you know, because sometimes they create these awards just to do this kind of stuff. Baquan writes, okay, talking to them. Tracy writes, where has T-Greg been? Now that you say it, we haven't seen Black Russia. You're right. Tracy writes, Idris Elba never slurs his words. Idris Elba. I don't know. I think it's all in the ear of the beholder. Maybe some people might say that. Maybe. And then other people would say that this is just this is creative lawyering right here. That's what you pay for. He must be a big time lawyer. Lawyer for police captain accused of OVI wants the charges dropped. I follow this story. It's an issue of fairness. We know what happens with people that look like you and I. Brown folks, black and brown folks. You already know. So to now see this white police officer, so you get a double. You check off 2 boxes in terms of, let's see how this is handled. Stephen Adams is the name of the attorney. And he says that if she appeared drunk in the dashboard camera recording of her arrest, it was only because she has a British accent. Now, let's just stop right there, because don't you just hate it when mofos try to insult your intelligence? I mean, that phrase is an insult to the intelligence. I'll read it again. Okay. Stephen Adams, the attorney representing a suspended Cincinnati police officer, or maybe this is just poorly written. I don't know. Did he really say this? Maybe it's not accurately. It's more of a paraphrase. Maybe I'll give him that. But apparently this man said that if his client appears drunk in the dashboard camera recording of her arrest, it's only because she has a British accent. Is that right? Quote, they all believe the ones that I have spoken to, and also through hearsay. Bad stop, bad arrest, he says. Oh, now this is a bad stop. That's a thing now? Really? Because when black folks say that, they fight you to the end of the earth. They will fight you through Hamilton County to the end of the earth. But all of a sudden, this is a bad stop, huh? We acknowledging that now? That these things do happen? According to the police report, Caton was pulled over after drifting to the center line and driving left of center while making a turn. Just think about that. So this person was drifting, and then she makes a wide-ass left turn that turns into the damn traffic, because that's what that means. This is crazy. Let me go to the phones. We got Sister Iris on the line. How you doing, Sister Iris?
Good morning. I'm doing very well. I hear a lot of noise, Mr. Ivy. Is it my line?
In your line right now? People have been telling me that, but I don't know what it is.
I can barely understand what you're saying.
Can you? Okay. Hold on 1 second here. All right. I mean, that's what I can do on my end. Can you hear me now?
Let's do this. I'll try to hang up and call right back.
Okay, let's do that too. All right, appreciate it. Sister Iris. You know what? I'm interested to hear what she has to say. She might have some insights. Okay, she's calling me back now. And okay. How about now?
It's still muffled, but I do want to get a couple of points across about the police fairness, transparency, and the Citizens Complaints Authority. Is that fair?
Sure, go right ahead.
Okay, so as we now see more of the story coming to light, the FNC president about the Citizens Complaints Authority and the other officer.
Well, see, now I can't hear her at all.
Wants to distract us from this particular.
Yeah. Hey, Sister Iris, I'm not sure what just happened, but your voice just completely dropped out. It just completely dropped out. Yeah, I can hear you now, but you sound like you said that I sounded.
I can't make out what you're saying.
All right, Sister Iris, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hang up, and then I got a break coming up at 9 a.m., okay? I'm going to check my systems, give it a once over, in as much as I can do being live on the air. And then we'll come back from the break and try to pick the conversation right back up, because she was about to say some very interesting things, and I want to make sure I get a chance to get all of that in. All right, so my apologies on that. Again, as I say, I'm going to slip into a break. We'll come right back in about 3 to 4 minutes. All right, this is the Nathan Ivy Show, live, local, and vocal. We'll be right back and pick up the conversation this morning, broadcasting live from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Urban Report. I'm Donna Wilson. It's Black History Month, and on this day in 1867, Morehouse College was formed in Atlanta. The private historically black men's liberal arts college was founded 2 years after the end of the Civil War. Well, you haven't heard the end of Colin Kaepernick. The activist and former quarterback will release a memoir this year through his company, Kaepernick Publishing. The book will recount his life experiences that led up to the decision to risk his career and kneel during the national anthem to protest racial inequality. And workplace harassment is something that no person should have to go through, especially when it's coming from customers at the workplace. A New Jersey jury has ordered PNC Bank to pay a black woman $2.4 million after it found the company failed to protect her from sexual harassment by a customer. That's your Bloomberg Urban Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
My mother was always very active and independent, and she was familiar with her neighborhood. But one day, she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. She wasn't even really sure where she was at.
It's important for you to talk to someone about it. I felt so much better after my son told me, Mom, we'll figure it out.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
145 over 92.
180 over 111. I had a heart attack and a cardiac arrest and then a stroke.
Your blood pressure numbers could change your life. Lowering your high blood pressure could save you from a heart attack or stroke. If you've stopped your treatment plan, restart it or talk to your doctor about creating one that works better for you. Start taking the right steps at manageyourbp.org.
Now I'm, trying to get better, stronger than ever.
Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
Okay, I am back, and good morning to you. Currently 9:03, soon to be 9:04 a.m. in the Queen City, city of my birth, Cincinnati, Ohio, city of the future. But what role are we going to play a part of it? Will the future of Cincinnati look like the past of Cincinnati in terms of inclusion and diversity? What are the steps that need to be taken to create a better tomorrow for us? So right before the break, I was speaking with Sister Iris. If you're listening, please give me a try to call back in. And I'd like to finish that conversation if she has the time. We were talking about this two Cincinnati police officers that were pulled over in Loveland for OVI. One of them was a captain, which I think, like, how many female captains do they have down there? I think that's a big time position, right? Of authority and responsibility and leadership and all that kind of stuff. And it didn't go so well. The observations from the officer is it seems like they were drunk. She was intoxicated. He observed her weaving. I mean, while he was behind her, she's weaving. It's hard to operate a vehicle if you can barely walk. And is it arrogance? Why do people do this? Why are people driving drunk in the age of Uber? Is it a money thing? Is it like, I don't want to spend the Uber money because that's beer money? That's drink money? Like if I take an Uber, that's 2 less beers? Or is it just arrogance, you know? We shall find out. Now, here's the defense is saying that she's British. That's why she sounded like she was, you know, the slur. But what's that have to do with the strong smell of alcohol? Well, to that, the defense attorney said that a jury's not going to be able to smell the alcohol. He said that when he watched the video, I don't hear slurred speech. What I do know is that she is from England. She has an accent. Maybe he, the arresting officer, isn't used to an English accent. That's from the lawyer. Oh, man. In the video, Katen identifies herself as a Cincinnati police officer, right? Now, a lot of people will say that, you know, maybe she was looking for like the law enforcement discount. Like, hey, let me go, brother. I'm one of you. We're in this together. Go out there and get the bad guys. Don't waste your time. Follow me home. All that kind of stuff. But no, her defense attorney says that she did that to protect the Loveland officer who was pulling her over. Huh? What does that mean? Oh, man. I don't know what that's. What does that mean? To protect the Loveland officer. So that's quite interesting. We'll see. Will they walk? Will they walk? Or what's supposed to happen here? You tell me. Mila J. writes, your license is suspended automatically for refusal. That's how I understood it. That's how I understood it. Mason Marlon writes, he sounds terrible. You must be talking about our brother from down in Florida. Baquan the chef writes, Weinstein lawyer said his accusers lack common sense. I always like lawyers to employ those type of defenses. Victim shaming or not, you're in service to your client, correct? We know that. We can tell. We can clearly tell. We can clearly tell. Yeah, we got that whole Snoop Dogg thing settled that we talked about earlier in the week. And Snoop Dogg settled it. Snoop Dogg apologized twice. The second time on his Instagram, I don't know what that app is, but he had the transcription of his audio. Like, how many times you see that? Because he wanted to make sure that everybody got the message. And I'm very happy. I plan on getting a chance to see him when he comes. Maybe my mind might change. Who knows? Irish writes, good morning, great people. Mason Marlon writes, Dan Hill said the arresting officer should have given them a professional courtesy, a.k.a. let them go. Yeah. You get that? A professional courtesy. I mean, what if somebody gets killed on the way home? Or I get it. That's why I said, I mean, some of this stuff is just human interaction. Like, you know, I guess that kind of thing does apply for them. Blue Magic writes, why should they receive a professional courtesy? Did Tweety get a professional courtesy? I think not. Bump the Catons and Dan Hills. Pam writes, Nate, we're so happy you're well now. Now you really got to get planning on the chopper get together when you're up for doing it. Absolutely. Before you leave, Pam. You still rolling out on us? Damn. Pam writes, Nate, never stop being an advocate for heart health. It's extremely important, and we are listening. Yes, you know, that's my testimony now. I have a heart health testimony. And so that is what I must do as long as I'm still here. Never know. See, what else did we discuss this week that I think is relevant? I mean, I'm surprised that our brother from the left coast hasn't called in already and started politicking for his boy. But I guess he's going to chill now. Ray writes, just another prelude to harassment. Pat writes, good morning. Mason Muller writes, I know Mike J. on that station, no less. I was like, Naker, please. Kermir writes, the law enforcement is going to F with us regardless. Sharp writes, how many ergons working on FCC site? Well, hopefully none. Hopefully none. Hopefully the city's put in place. And what's happened with that Tamaya Denard proposal? Remember that proposal that she had? Essentially saying that, you know, if you've ever been convicted of defrauding the city of Cincinnati or, you know, being a part of one of those, you know, front companies and, you know, you're fronting with a fake black-owned company or minority-owned company, but it's really you. Did city council get behind that? You know, I lost contact with that. I have to pick that back up and figure out where they are. Did they vote on that? Clearly not, because I think it would have been big news. But where is it in council? I do not know. Maybe you do. Blue Magic writes, they always say they're making it racial when you point out the hypocrisy, Mahler. When they have this one lawyer on WOW, I can't recall his name, tells that audience not to do a breath test. You talking about the former Hamilton County prosecutor? Is that what you're talking about? Mikey Mike? Mason Muller writes, Stephen R. Adams is his name, Ray. He gets on there to tell people not to cooperate with the police. And if I understand it, that's the same guy who is their lawyer. Must be pretty good, huh? Going to see Alex Bugnan on V-Day. Keep the candies and flowers. Okay. Nathan, what's up with Napoleon Maddox? Does he have a podcast as well? I don't know. I don't know if Napoleon has a podcast. I think if he did a podcast of just him and his travels, that'd be pretty dope. See here. I don't know. You know, he might be anywhere in the world. You never know, that brother. See, here it is right here. He was just in, I'm not sure where the hell that is, actually. I'm not sure what I'm looking at. It looks dope, though. He's doing something. Doing big things. Okay. I see is what is with the Clifton Fest. Okay, that was great. I missed it. Who knows? I don't know if he's doing a podcast. I don't know. It would be dope, though. It would be just like they threw out things for Twitty. F Dan Hills and his drunk driving fans. They always get the benefit of the doubt. Yes, they do, because they are the folks that's on the front line of reporting if it's really a crime or not. That's their job. We can't just allow cops to pull over people for BS. Nowhere in the video did she hit that yellow line. If the stop was illegal, which is what it looks like, the DUI will get thrown out. That's Jace Cromlix. Cam writes, are the powers that be trying to sabotage the NI show? Why would they do that? Maybe. Don't know. Could just be some other ish. Yeah. The only thing that makes you sound like you have slurred speech is drugs or alcohol and a stroke. I'm calling BS on that, right? Pistol packing Prather has gotten a hold of Black Russia. He won't be heard from for a while, LOL. Well, you know what? Damn, I do remember that she called back in like, hey, you know, I'm going to leave my number in the chop shop, because he was talking mad shit about her. He was so disrespectful to her that day. I remember it now. It's coming back to me. I have filed that away. He was so disrespectful to Kelly Prather when she came on the show. Good morning to you, Kelly, if you're listening. And she called back in with grace and like, hey, B, no. You know, have no problem. Let me know. I think he was giving her some advice for her campaign, right? And she was like, yeah, I'll take the advice. Hit me up. I don't know. I ain't saying nothing, but he said it first. Damn, where is the brother? So what y'all about to do to fortify Councilwoman Denard? She is on her way to getting Tracy Hunter. You know how the movie ends. So is Black Cincinnati going to switch the script for once? Damn, why are you trying to challenge people and shit, man? Damn. Look at you. Yeah, I am aware, but this started for me before she wasn't even elected. And just the tone and the type of criticisms that she was getting because she was selling her ideas, right? And people got disrespectfully talking about her personal life. That was before she got on council. Local media talking about tax issues that really weren't tax issues. They'd already been taken care of. Big time, above the fold, front page articles. Remember this? And then every time she says anything, people just come out the woodwork to come for her. You had elements of the business community that came together and they convinced Cincinnati to go back to 2 years terms. Remember this? Let me see here. Somebody's sending me a message. Okay, somebody's giving me some information. So it's not Kelly Prather. Y'all are silly. Y'all funny. But anyway, you made me lose my train of thought. I had a good flow going. Sometimes you just got to abort. Just keep on going. It'll come back or not. But I will say that, there are forces out there that are very not happy with Tamaya Denard, that they're so unhappy with, her and other members of city council that they convinced the city of Cincinnati to go back to 2-year terms. We had only tried it for 8 years. Can we be scientific about shit sometime and really get a good sample before we have another knee-jerk reaction city? But that's what we are. We're knee-jerk reaction Cincinnati. And there are people that are very unhappy because, this FC Cincinnati deal, it all got played out in the public. Whether it ended the way you think it should have, it got played out in the public. You had council making demands about community agreements. All this stuff got played out. You had these big time, very intense meetings down in the West End and other community councils. And, some of the business community just didn't like all of that. They was used to the good old boy shuffle. It's you and your friends at the very top of the food chain here in the greater Cincinnati business community, making all the decisions before you allow anybody in. And these community councils have no real teeth to them because city council don't have to listen to what they say. I mean, sure, when it's time to run for election again, they're going to show up and they might have a connection with those councils, right? They'll take your email, but they don't really have to do what you say. You know what I'm saying? So basically they're impotent. Cassandra writes, the only thing that makes you sound like, I think I read that already. If I missed your comments, my apologies. I try to get them in. But perhaps I have. Damn. See, when I saw this, Jesse, thank you for the post, Jesse. When he posted college football player slams officer onto concrete during arrest. You see this? This story is straight out of where? Let me see. It happened here in Ohio. Michael Harris, a Eastern Kentucky University student. He's a redshirt sophomore. He's been charged with assault. In the video, he picks this officer up, man, and he picks him up like he works out, basically. he picks him up like he's got some strength to him and puts his hands on the officer. See, when shit like this happens, somebody's going to get hurt because of this. This is going to be the justification for some old Conan barbaric tactics. That's what's going to happen. body slammed the officer during the arrest. And this is the reason why these officers be saying hey, I thought he moved. This is what they're going to use. Now, I'm not justifying it because I think it's illegal and barbaric and racist, but you know how the game is played out. Have you seen this video? This is it's not a good look, man. Not a good look. Apparently he was intoxicated. Apparently. All right, we got Sister Iris calling back in. Good morning, Sister Iris. Can you hear me now?
You, but it's not clear. So if you have a question for me, I'll listen so that I can hear you. But Mr. Ivy, I did something without your permission because I'm afraid of this lady that's on the phone with me, and that is Liz Rogers, because she's a badass entrepreneur. And I didn't want you to miss the opportunity to hear from her because her soft opening is tonight and tomorrow.
Okay.
And I know that you are a friend. And so, Liz, are you there with us?
Hey, Nathan, are you coming tonight?
I'm not sure if I'm coming tonight, but I wish you very well. Tell us all about it.
Well, we are opening, we have soft opening tonight here in Sharonville for Wing Campus. So it's a juke joint, so it's really cool. We have like all of mahogany food and more, and we have live entertainment. We have a YOLO band tonight. And then tomorrow with Lando, we have the Mississippi Red, and they're from Dayton, Ohio. So lots of blues and jazz. So it's just going to really be a good time.
That sounds great, actually. So tell us where and when. And if people want to come, what time and when they should show up? When should they show up?
Yeah, so both nights is soft opening, starts at about 8 o'clock. So the address is 2343 East Sharon Road, and it's here in Sharonville, Ohio. So it's right next to the Waffle House, and it's actually right off 75. So as soon as you get off this freeway, if you're coming south, just turn left, and we're right here on the right.
Okay, all right, great. Yeah. I got had some recent health issues. I'm trying to take it easy. That's what. Other than that, I'd be there.
No. Okay.
Well,
all right.
Liz, and so if you could, you know how I like my food clean, and there is clean food at Mahogany's Nathan Ivy for you to eat. Because I know you've adjusted your food intake.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, we did a lot of different stuff. You know, we have vegetarian and vegan options. Lots of soups and salads. You know, we cook all of our greens and everything in smoked turkey and chicken broth. So a lot of our chefs they're very trained. It's a good time.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you got on the line, actually. That's great because I want to support you in any small little way that I can. And I'm glad that things seem to be going well. I hope that the endeavor is successful. Yeah. I know it will be.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody.
Okay.
Liz, can you just, Nathan, I don't want to take over your interview, but I wanted Liz to be able to say a little bit about what it is she's doing now with other entrepreneurs, because her model was on the bank. Well, it really isn't, because she's always had this dream to help others build their dreams. Is it okay if you just talk about that, and then I'll get into the police?
I am okay with that, although you were very, very muffled. We could barely hear you, but I got the gist of what you're saying. So, yeah.
As far as with other entrepreneurs, as I said before, we are really doing some really great things with some entrepreneurs that we found here in town with the group of investors. And so we're just looking for even more entrepreneurs that want to start their own business. We're getting ready to do something with some entrepreneurs that have their own pastry company. So it's a really good way to do a lot of great partnerships and just empower the African-American community. And just really, the comeback is real. So, you know, we just really want to help people and give back as much as possible and just really, really build good teams.
Okay. And if someone's interested, how do they contact you?
Yeah, just contact me here at Wing Camp. come on up and see me. I'm on Facebook too. So everybody knows I'm under Mahogany's on Facebook, and just inbox me and let's talk.
All right. Great to hear. Anything else?
No, thank you guys and appreciate it, and looking forward to seeing everybody this weekend.
Okay. It's Liz Rogers, everyone.
I love you, Liz.
Thank you.
Liz
Bye-bye.
Rogers. So you're getting a 2-for-1, Nathan, this morning. So as I was saying, in your phone line is still a little jacked up, Nathan. It's still a little jacked up. There's a lot of feedback coming back. And I wouldn't put it past folks tapping the line, because when you're trying to be free, folk want to stop you from that. And when you're trying to fight for freedom and equity and transparency for your people, folk will do things to stop you from doing that. And so let me just say this to the choppers, because I know that they're smart people. I actually thought that the president of the FOP, by coming after the Citizens Complaint Authority, was trying to distract from this particular story, which is extremely important when you have a captain and a lieutenant who are clearly driving in a state that they should not be behind a car with loaded guns. That is a problem. And you cannot say to the community, we're going to hold one standard for you, but a different standard for police officers. It has to be, the same standard has to be across the board. There are several issues here for me. As one who's trying to fight for fairness and equity for my community, when I watched the video, when I listened to the attorney, when I listened to what her husband said and got in between her and the police officer, and the officer wrote that another officer had to put their hand up to stop Mr. Catton from interfering in official business. I do believe that the wife was arrested because she refused the breathalyzer. And I do believe that what the officer wrote actually happened. And so we need to be able to connect the dots. You're not hearing anything from the FOP president on this. Now, had it been Jesse Rowley and Iris Rowley in the car with loaded guns and the officer you would believe him. And it's amazing how they will go after another police municipality. And Mr. Caton said to the officers as he was walking off, now go tell your mamas you met real police officers, while he's walking home in his kilt. So there are several things that bother me. Where is the prosecutor? Because there was a state law that was violated here by having their loaded weapons. An ethics violation is here. Where's your law and public safety chair about equity and transparency and fairness across the board? So when you hear silence, you know that there's something in the wash. And so when I heard Mr. Hills come after the CCA, one, I wanted to know what was the distraction about? And so the other part of this distraction is that, yes, your current prosecutor has filed an appeals on the decision of the Ohio First Appellate Court on the Citizens Complaint Authority. Now, that decision just came down, giving the authority their authority back to interview, not interrogate, as the FOP president keeps saying. They interview on the officers on cases of misconduct. And so this has been in place for the past 16 years. And when it was necessary, Mr. Ivy and the choppers, for the Citizens Complaint Authority to allow the prosecutor to do, when they thought they needed to do things in a different way, there was no hesitation. I think all of the executive directors have given the prosecutor the opportunity to do it. But to go into the court and get a permanent restraining order when the law says, because there are two parts of the collaborative that have been codified by law. One is the Citizens Complaint Authority, and the other is the contact card. This is how we measure policing. And if you don't have these things in place, you will never be able to get a clear view of what's happening. So we won't know if they're doing well, if they're not doing well, what we can improve on. We pay for this service. This doesn't happen out of somebody giving the police a grant. No, it comes out of our tax dollars. So when we ask for this independent agency to be able to do an interview because we did not trust internal. We wanted them to be able to do that. And so that is, it says it in the Administrative Code 28. It also says that they are supposed to have 5 investigators. There is nothing in the city regs that is written like the Citizens Complaint Authority. So now what Dan Hills has let out the back is that the prosecutor is appealing that decision. And so I want, as we are in this season of voting, to understand that Joe Dieters is trying to stop the independent arm once again from doing its job. So there are several distractions here, but that's okay. We can maneuver through the BS and see the truth. The truth is that they want special treatment for them and no accountability measures for anybody else, which is crazy as hell. So I don't know about you all, but I do know that the FOP president is asking his supporters to call the mayor and the legislators and tell them to tell the CCA to stand down. I do know for a fact that the city law department has not instructed the Citizens Complaint Authority to do that. They cannot instruct them to do that because the First Appellate Court has ruled that they can do it. So if anyone has the inkling that they want to stand up for the CCA, please call your legislators and tell them to leave them alone and allow them to do what they're doing. When they impose this restraining order, it creates a backlog. So now there's a backlog, and it is written in the administrative code, as I said on Channel 5 last night, that once a complaint is filed, there's a duty that these things have to be investigated in 90 days. With these distractions, disruptions, sabotage, it's taking much longer. People want their voices heard. People want resolution. We need to see what policies, collateral policies are being violated, and they're not. And if the police officers aren't doing anything wrong, what's the problem with having these investigations done? This works in everybody's favor. So I think that that's what the FOP president is doing. And I would say in all of the ones that I've had to deal with, I think he's number 5. He is the worst. He's the worst because he truly does not believe we have any rights. We have no role in making sure that they treat us fair, that there are equitable processes, and that we're able to measure how they treat us. And he's clear about what he's saying. So I am just dismayed that they keep electing him as their president. I am disappointed that I don't hear the mayor or the city manager or your law and public safety saying anything because he is sabotaging the work. The police are saying that they are feeling unsafe. Well, hell, this is why. You mistreat people, you disrespect people, you put people in jail for no reasons, and then you want to have your own special treatment. And then you say to us, you can't measure. This is crazy. Of course people are going to fight back at some point. So, Nathan Ivy and the choppers, please keep your eyes wide open on this. Let's not allow them to create special processes for people that we pay to protect and patrol us. But they can treat us in a way that is subhuman, subpar, and just downright disrespectful. So, Nathan, I appreciate you letting me bring Liz on this morning. And I want you all to know that if there is a reversal or if anything happens to this appellate court's decision, I will be back on as soon as that happens to let you know and let you know what we need to be doing, because we have a role in making sure that the Citizens Complaint Authority stays where it is and that we don't go backwards. And if we are lamenting about other things and not paying attention to what's happening at home, we will be backwards. We will be. It will be back to what they used to do, the way that they want to do it. And there's a current case that, and you talked about it yesterday, that the FOP president doesn't want the Citizens Complaint Authority to talk about. Why not? They don't want. He doesn't want them to interview the officer. Why not? He said, well, the officer got hurt. Well, the officer got hurt, but internal still talk to the officer. So why can't the CCA talk to the officer? Go figure. But those are my statements this morning, Mr. Ivy. And then the last thing, I'm hoping that I hope that I don't get in trouble from my president and CEO. I hope that he's listening because I'm encouraging him to call in and talk about the Port Authority and the relationship with CEAI. We got a lot of stuff going on in the city.
Well, Sister Iris,
All right,
thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, dear brother. You have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too. Yes, I appreciate it. Yeah, great flows all the way around. And I'm glad you did bring Sister Rogers on, Liz Rogers. It was good to hear from her. I 100% support her. It was great. And she got deep into some shit that's going on. It's interesting. I'm going to go back and listen to that again. I'll go back and listen to that again. Since I'm the NAACP, I want to remind you that they've got their February, what is this? The 18th it is? Yeah, so that's coming up that's Tuesday, just a few days away. And Byron McCauley is going to be the moderator. I'm sure he's going to do a great job. And it looks like they've got, it's going to be interesting. You got the Hamilton County commissioners there, along with, that means Jim Neal and Charmaine McGuffey in the same room. That'll be interesting. Gabe Davis and Fanon Rucker. These two brothers are running for the Democrat nomination to run against the Republican in November. His name is Joe Dieters. He's a white male, for folks who don't know. The Hamilton County commissioners race, Elisa Reese. And that's going to be interesting. She'll be there. Kelly Prather, Connie Pillage, all females. And looks like it's going to be over at the Community Action Agency at Langdon Farm Road. They've also going to got the county recorder's race. Right? Scott Crowley, Eric Walterman, Maxwell Kinman. And they've invited some others who won't be there. So that'll be the NAACP, and Byron McCauley is going to be your special guest moderator. And it's going to be interesting. I may be in attendance. I may be in the house. Maybe. Let's see here. That's great. That's great. Oh, that's great. Shout out to the Pastor family. Oh, their anniversary is Valentine's Day, huh? Okay. You know, I read the millennials, they go all the way they go super hard for Valentine's Day. On average, $208. That's what millennials spend, I read this morning. That means there's somebody that's just spending a grand. And, you know, it is what it is, man. Maybe it goes back to living life to the fullest. My daughter and her friends, her girlfriends, like friends that are female, they're friends and they give each other like gifts. Like, basically they give each other what candy and snacks they like. Yeah. Yeah. Like, you know, to my daughter it's a big deal. And not to this point, she hasn't told me it has anything to do with a boy. It's really about her and her friends, and they celebrate and things like that. So let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivy, and all the beautiful people in the Chop Shop. And I hope all the lady choppers get all the sweetness and the love and hugs that they deserve on this Valentine's Day. Mr. Ivy, sir, I've been putting in work for you and the Nathan Ivy Show. If you check your Twitter feed, I posted the Gilligan of the Week, which I think was pretty easy this week.
I would agree.
And who do you think it is?
Snoop.
There you go, man, Mr. Ivy. Even though we ain't on the same level, sometimes we see eye to eye, my brother.
Yes, we do when it comes to the Gilligan of the Week. Although
Now, while I was putting together the Gilligan of the Week, I heard you mention that your caller from the left coast, yours truly, was not calling in today. Well, I wasn't going to call in. I was just going to post the Gilligan of the Week, and I was going to move on about my way. Because I think, Mr. Ivy, at this point, there's no need of me piling on to the condition and the state of the Desert Democrat Party and their presidential candidate right now. Now, Mr. Ivy, before I go, because I'm not going to take up too much time, the next Democrat primary is February 22nd, followed by, let me back up, February 22nd, which will be in Nevada. Then after that, on February 29th, the next primary is in South Carolina. After that, on Super Tuesday, March the 3rd, that's when we will probably know who the Democrats will probably back as their nominee. Now, Mr. Ivy, the reason I bring up these next three primary dates is because all I've been hearing since Iowa is that Iowa and New Hampshire do not represent the Democrat Party. Now, Mr. Ivy, in 2008, when Barack Obama won in Iowa, I don't think the Democrat Party was saying the same things. Do you remember them saying that somehow that we had to wait until South Carolina and Nevada to really find out where the Democrat Party stands?
I don't remember.
Exactly. I don't either. So the reason I bring up these 3 dates is because these so-called pundits and so-called political experts are saying that Nevada and South Carolina will represent what the Democrat Party and their enthusiasm and their involvement in 2020 and moving forward. So my question to you, Mr. Ivy, and any other chopper in the chop shop who's willing to answer this question, if the numbers are below Hillary Clinton 2016 numbers in Nevada and South Carolina with the Hispanic and the black vote, because that's what the Democrats are saying. Democrats are saying they don't care about the white vote. All that matters is the Hispanic and the black vote. So if those numbers do not reach Hillary Clinton level, do you think that they're going to blame these numbers on voter suppression in their own primary, Mr. Ivy?
No, that doesn't make any sense. I think you're reaching today on that one. I think you're reaching on that one.
Okay, Mr. Ivy. Then what is your opinion on the Democrat Party saying that because Iowa and New Hampshire had barely, I think, combined maybe 3 to 4% of black and Hispanic voters who caucused. Okay, we're not talking about regular voting here. And Nevada is a caucus. South Carolina is just regular primary votes to try to get the delegate. Okay, so Mr. Ivy, because you are a powerful, influential member of the media and deep into the culture of Black America, what type of numbers will you be looking for in Nevada, even though it's caucus, and South Carolina when it comes to the black and Hispanic vote? Or do the desperate Democrats need the black and Hispanic vote in 2020 to beat Donald Trump?
Short answer, I have no idea. It's a little early for all of that.
Now, okay, I hear you, Mr. Ivy. I'm not even going to press you on this, but I could just remember somebody in the chop shop who goes by the name of the overseer, a.k.a. Lenny, a.k.a. the Mason Mauler, a.k.a. that old Negro over there. He said that the enthusiasm in the Democrat Party after 2018 was through the roof. Kamala Harris was going to destroy Trump. Joe Biden was going to destroy Trump. Elizabeth Warren was going to destroy Trump. I don't even need to go on any further. Y'all choppers And
I
Mr.
agree.
Ivy, be safe in the streets. Happy Valentine's Day. Drop Squad 52. Dropping science and kisses to anyone who wants to catch them. Peace.
He's laughing. Oh, dear Lord. I'm going to have to help that man with his flow. Well, are you aware? Well, let me say this. Do you know, do you have nieces, nephews, grandbabies, anyone? Did you graduate from the School for Creative and Performing Arts? Are you aware that the City of Cincinnati Police, along with Cincinnati Public Schools, are monitoring a so-called situation that involves that school? Apparently, there was a rumor, there was something put out on social media that says something about SCPA shootout. And I hate my MF school. It was dated February 13th. That's just yesterday. Till you get your brains blown out. And it was on a Snapchat post specifically that singles out 7th graders. And parents of students at CPS received a robocall alerting them of the threats this morning. And that was yesterday morning after 7 a.m. Yeah, it's real out here. So, they got to take it seriously. This goes back to what I said about how the school, this is a perfect example. It's a real-time example of why you got to have that active school, active shooter training. It's a perfect example of it because you might have to deal with that here in CPS. I hope it never happens. But what the smart people that are responsible for children don't deal in hope. They deal in training. They deal in school resource officers. They deal in tangibles that can actually keep our kids safe and lessen the impact of death as much as they can with the resource they got. And apparently it was retweeted by Pastor X. Does he have a child that goes to that school? I want to say yes, maybe used to, maybe, I'm not sure. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine you getting a robocall saying that happened at your kid's school? What's your first impulse? You're going to go pick your baby up early. Right? Wait. I'll pick you up before you can eat lunch at home. You can eat lunch at home. I wonder if that happened at Cincinnati Public Schools or at the School for Creative and Performing Arts. I wonder if that happened. Because that'd be my first impulse. If my reflex would be, let me go pick her up. She can study from home. She'll be fine. TNT writes, good morning. Jace writes, I think I read that. Tracy writes, English people speak English. What's the damn problem? The blue wall protects whom they want and will. We got that. Yeah. Say, listen, man, do me a solid and let me drive home dangerously drunk. And don't report this. Don't give me a citation. That's happened probably a lot. And the officer that does it is just praying to Jesus that if they do something like that, that the person doesn't get into an accident, because then it's their ass. Mr. Evie writes, good morning. Dee writes, I do not think we can change what's in people's heart and minds. On the surface, we can make the city look and good and appealing to outsiders, but the people are a whole other issue. She's talking about the future of Cincinnati, what it takes. Karamir writes, if Dan Hills let go that drunken murderer, Pat Dinkelacker hit and killed Pamela Barnett. Flumagic writes, yes, he's slaying ham sandwiches out of that cop. I know, I saw the video. It ain't good, man. It ain't good. It's not good for that brother, number one, because, of course, he put his life on the line. He got that warrior spirit. Everybody's different. He said he wasn't having it. Right, wrong, or whatever. But you got to know that that image is probably going to be emailed to every pro-blue officer Facebook groups and pages, text messages, you name it. They're going to be showing this image right here because there's no officer in America that wants to go out like that. He picks this man up like he was like a rag doll, as they say. You think he's going to go back to Eastern Kentucky University? He must be, I don't know how good he is. Like, if he's really, really, really good, he can get over this. But if he's just a marginal player, he's example worthy. Body slamming the officer to the ground. It's funny on some levels, if not really funny, but like I said, when these officers claimed that, they were afraid, and we're like, oh, that's some racist ish. This is what they're talking about. It's not right. On Tamaya's proposal, they are too busy trying to kill Tamaya's career to deal with her policies. Maybe these policies that pissed the powers that be off and made them go digging out to find dirt with her campaign financing, her personal rent, and et cetera, right? Like, a lot of her business has been in the news recently. Let's be real here. A lot of it. Stuff about rent, where she lives, who she's living with, how she's living. Then I read something about paying herself with her campaign. I don't know the laws. But clearly, there are elements of local media that are on the Tamaya Denard watch. But what I'd like to know is, what do the people think about Tamaya Denard? And Shula writes, happy Friday, Nathan and Choppas. Looking forward to sundown. Hashtag chilling on the Sabbath. Good morning to you. Camille writes, ask Liz Rogers the caller's address again. Jesse writes, I could barely hear the interview. Oh, that's terrible. I'll go back through the pod and pop it up later this afternoon and take a listen to it. Become a patron. I did. Let's take the show to the limitless boundaries. I'm with that, Kim. Thank you so much. Where do our legislators stand right now? Haven't heard much. Who represents you? Question mark. That's from Terrence. Tracy writes, Iris coming with the facts. Oh, yeah. I mean, Iris is, she's all about the facts. And she's about the community. Ray writes, GOTW, an officer allegedly driving impaired with loaded firearms and not taking responsibility for their actions. Iris said the same thing, and so do you. You're right about that. These are humans with guns. And the reason why that's a problem is that if she was dealing, let's say something would have happened and they got into a face-to-face confrontation with somebody. And you talk about a man who was already involved with the suspicious murder of a black man and a veteran, right? So he got it in him. And it just so happens that the people, this is law enforcement doing its job. Law enforcement, they probably saved somebody's life because the Catons didn't run into him that night. Because had it been anybody other than law enforcement, they was already arrogant with them. You know what I'm saying? They was already arrogant with the Loveland police officer. If they would have came across some Joe Schmo, you and me, and maybe got into a fender bender, what would have happened? They would have been on one. They would have been on one with loaded weapons. It's very serious. Jesse writes, she says, watermelon man. Why you had to bring that back up, Jesse? Thought we killed that. Man. Terrence calls out Drop's BS and Drop can't handle it. Diana writes, what? Never heard of the performance arts issue. Yeah, this is, I'll post a link here from City B Magazine. And you can check it out for yourself. Check this out. Yeah, that's serious. Shootout at Cincinnati Public Schools. CPS remains open after somebody did an alarming Snapchat post and said essentially, let me read it to you again. It's dated February 13th, 2020. That's just yesterday. Till you get your brains blown out. SCPA shootout. And I hate my effing school. That's what it reads. So apparently they did a robocall to the families, all the families at CPS, if you attend the School of Creative and Performing Arts. But, I mean, again, I would like to know, even though my child doesn't go there. I mean, to me, that should be an alarm. I think that all the parents should get a notification saying, hey, this happened at CPS, because you never know. They say School for Creative and Performing Arts, but it could be another school. But again, I just posted a link inside the Chop Shop, and you can check it out for yourself. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Good morning, Danielle. Hey, good morning, Donnie.
Ordering my Starbucks. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, what's going on, Donnie B?
Hold on. I wanted to call in about the football player. Hold on 1 second. So, here's my thing. And this is why my gripe with the media. I saw the guy, the football player that body slammed the officer, and I felt like it was self-defense. Like, you gotta watch the whole video. The dude had his hands up, and was basically like, don't shoot me, don't touch me. And I don't know what the word exchange was because you can't hear the volume. But then the dude went into the car, I think to get his driver's license or whatever he was supposed to get. And the police officer came up from behind him and started beating that dude. You gotta watch the TMZ clip where they show the whole thing. And then he almost gets body slammed. And I'm like, are we really about to try to make this black dude the poster child for the boys in blue being victims? I'm like, you almost body slammed because you tried to be on some of the legal stuff. There was no reason for you to start beating the hell out of that dude by the driver's side door. Is it just me? I don't feel sympathetic to the cop. Maybe I'm biased.
No, I agree with you 100%. Neither do I. I'm just saying, you know how it's going to be perceived from a law enforcement standpoint, and give them some kind of rationale when they're battering or abusing somebody or trigger happy. They're going to point to this nonsense.
Well, and the problem is I feel like you've got black men that are catching too. Nobody wants to just stand there and lay down and get shot anymore. So when the police start acting out of pocket and start beating the hell out of you as an unarmed black man for no reason, you got a choice to make. Do I whoop your ass first and live and deal with the legal consequences of my actions, my self-defense? Or do I stand there and do nothing for fear I'm going to get charges and end up dying like Philando Castile?
Or or they treat you like you a slave on earth and put your face in the dirt and all this kind of stuff, and you keep your mouth closed, but you feel dehumanized or less than a man in the way that they just gave you a rough arrest.
Exactly. And I'm like, I struggle with what to tell my sons to do. I'm like, stay alive, but I'm not sure that compliance equals life anymore, because we've seen too many brothers comply and still get either emasculated, like you're saying, or killed, or beat the hell up like Rodney King. And I think that's what this white officer thought he was about to do. And the black dude is like, hold up. And now they're trying to make the narrative, oh, the dude was drunk. But you see him put his hands up multiple times to show like I'm unarmed. I still want to know why the officer thought it was okay to start hitting him. And I'm like, that's what happened before the body slam. And that's where I'm stuck at. This police can do no wrong, or when they do wrong, you got to stand there and get your ass whipped. It doesn't sit well with me. But I feel bad because I know this brother is going to have a hard time in the system as a result. But who's going to discipline the officer for his behavior before the body slam?
Oh, that's justified now.
I don't know.
That's justified now.
Right. So I'm like, so the black man had no choice but to stand there and get his ass whipped first and then try to file a complaint like afterwards. I feel like black men are getting tired of that being the only option. I don't know. It breaks my heart. But how did everybody else feel? I was in a car, so I couldn't really hear the commentary or read the comments from folks about, did anybody watch the full video? And what does everybody else think?
I'm going to check out the comments. So I posted that link from TMZ so people can see the video you're talking about. Yeah, I'm with you 100%.
Yeah, when I get back to the office, I'll try to send you the link, but I'm in the car.
I already put it out there. That's what I just said. I put it out there in the chop shop. Can you hear me?
All right. Talk to you guys later.
Okay.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
All right, take it easy. She must not hear me. I must be having those same issues across the different phone calls. But hopefully you got a chance to hear that. See here. See, yeah, it's going to be rough for the brother. And he didn't take him up immediately. He didn't just swoop him up off as soon as he woke up on him. I mean, there was a little bit of a struggle, but you can check the video out for yourself. And he's already been suspended by the football team. I mean, did we just see what could have been a promising career go down the tubes? You know, if people say they believe in redemption, then you should be able to get redemption even after an interaction with the police, especially considering our history, in my humble opinion. Apparently they got a phone call that he was acting erratic. Said he was being aggressive and, quote unquote, did not seem to be all there. So that's why they called. Somebody called on him, huh? Can somebody translate that for me, please? What does that mean? Translation meaning this black guy I've never seen before. Oh man. Didi writes, Anderson School apparently had a similar SCPA situation, I think last week. Did that one make the news too? Again, clearly the School for Creative and Performing Arts, let me back this up. Clearly to me, and I'm just thinking about things logically. If to me a threat to one CPS building should be looked upon as a threat to all CPS buildings. Can you feel me on that one? Just because somebody posts something, a Snapchat alleging a threat at the School for Creative Performing Arts, clearly that school needs to be, a primary focus, or I'll say a focus of, whatever security measures or whatever they need to do. I mean, clearly, because that particular school was named. But come on, man. I mean, it could be any school. They could just be telling you it's a School for Creative Performing Arts. So everybody's looking over here. And you're really plotting to go to do something at Walnut Hills. Or you're really plotting to do something at Riverview East Academy. I'm just saying, we got to be smart about it. Y'all never seen no movies? They called Misdirection. That's the way I look at it. Like, I didn't receive a robocall, and I feel like I should have, even though my child does not attend the School for Creative and Performing Arts. It's just like if there is a threat to Walnut Hills, everybody should get a phone call. And it just should be school specific. Like, if your child attends a School for Creative and Performing, you only got to do 2 messages. If your child attends a school in creative to the SCPA, then of course they're going to get a message that's tailored for whatever messaging you want to give those people in a situation like that. But then every other parent should get a message saying that there was a threat at the School for Creative and Performing Arts. Because parents are going to think that, I guess they don't do that because parents are going to think like I do. They're going to think like, oh, well, maybe we should all be thinking about security measures. I don't know. Let's not wait until somebody dies until the school before CPS gets serious about security. If it took my daughter a little bit more time or a lot more time to get processed to make sure nobody has guns in the school, as a parent, I'm cool with that. Maybe you are too. Iris put the address to the Wing Champs there. I know exactly where that is. Mason Waller writes, Trump continually says that the U.S. has experienced the best economy ever. This is obvious gaslighting since the new results show the president's best year on job record. Okay, I get it. Yeah. You can check it out for yourself. But essentially, Obama in the last 3 years of the Obama administration has made and produced more jobs than Trump did in the last 3 years or the first 3 years of his administration. I've read that over and over this past week. And it's true. Because Trump likes to bump his chest like, Tarzan and claim victory in every situation. But it's just not accurate. It just ain't accurate. The SCPA threat didn't happen during school. There were several flights at the school. Later that evening, someone posted emojis of guns over a pic of the school, suggesting that they would shoot up the school the next day. They had police there all yesterday. If you choose to keep your kid home, you could have. And I think that's smart. But again, I think what's smarter is to not tell people where you're going to actually do a mass shooting. Let's think ahead here. Again, that's a threat to every CPS school. They need to put an extra patrollie at every school just to make sure. Just to make sure. Everyone should be alerted just to make sure. Just to keep their eyes open just a little bit more. Just to pay attention just a little bit more. Because it wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world to put out an emoji or put something on social media with emojis and gunpowder, and you say one school, and really your target is another. And if it happened, everybody will say, why didn't we think of it? Body slam Becky called the law. Body slam Becky, Cam. That's hilarious. Diana writes, we should all be notified if you have kids at CPS. I mean, it just makes common sense. This stuff is free. Why do we make things so difficult? Things are so easy. I just saw the video, Donnie B. What is wrong with you? That young man was clearly aggressive toward the cops. He is going to get some jail time. If the other cop was a white male, that young man may have been shot. Yeah, people get shot sitting in the vehicle and have done nothing wrong, let alone you pick up an officer and body slam him. And that's going to go viral just because of the nature of it. And that's a bad situation. Bad situation right there. Black folks in America always got to be prepared to go to jail. Listen, I have to make a move. Many things going on today. I will talk to you on Monday. We'll catch back up again and chop it up on everything that's going on. And, of course, we're entering the deadline to get registered for the March primary. You got a lot of very important races. The NAACP has a forum on Tuesday at the Community Action Agency, and they've got the various candidates who are running for the Hamilton County Prosecutor Democrat nomination, and also the Hamilton County Sheriffs. I think that's going to be a particular, intense, exchange right there. We will find out. I do know that one of the candidates, that's Jim Neal, strongly believes that we need to invest in a new Hamilton County jail facility. Is he right? Charmaine McGuffey says there's some other measures that we can take. Which of the two candidates is the best? And what does it mean for African Americans? What does it mean for black folks? Also, Donnie B is planning to do a Facebook Live show today. So look at that. Look for that. Maybe you can join the stream with Donnie B. It's a Just Me podcast. All right. Listen, have an excellent day. I will catch up with you real soon. Have an excellent weekend. Take care of yourself. I certainly will. I'll catch back up with you Monday morning, bright and early. Viva La Chapas. All right. Look for the Donnie B Facebook live stream later today. All right. About 12:30 p.m. approximately. If you want to connect with me, you can hit me with a DM, nathansflows@gmail.com. And we'll talk real soon. Have an excellent weekend. I want to say that again. All right. We'll talk real soon. I'm out.